Some of my parents and students only hear about AoPS for the first time after they've started a more typical school curriculum. So for example, if a student has already completed algebra using a typical school curriculum, they want to know if they need to repeat algebra with AoPS or can they skip to the next class. I'm going to give you some options to help ease this transition. One thing you can do, if you have already taken algebra and you're not sure if you're ready for AoPS geometry, you can go to the website and look up the textbook in their online bookstore. You can also find this information in their online geometry class. Look over to the right here under Diagnostics and click on Are You Ready? This links to a pretest. This is a one-page worksheet with an answer key and should give you an idea if you've mastered the material needed to be successful in AoPS geometry. If you think you're not ready to advance to the next course in the sequence and want some review but don't want to go through the entire algebra book, here's an alternative. If the idea of repeating algebra is discouraging, here is an alternative. At the end of every chapter in the algebra textbook are a series of review problems and challenge problems. You'll see them here in every chapter. Let's take a look at the review problems. These are the review problems for Chapter 2. Depending on the number of problems, you might want to set aside between 1 and 3 days to complete these problems. These are considered the more routine problems as far as AoPS is concerned. They might still be more challenging than a typical school curriculum. 1 or 2 errors or silly mistakes is probably fine, but if you find that your student is missing a large chunk of problems or has no idea how to solve them, it's probably a good idea to return to Chapter 2 and reread and work through those sections. Following these review problems, there is a set of challenge problems. You can set aside another 1 to 3 days to complete these. These are going to be more challenging than the review problems and a large step above a typical school curriculum. But this will be excellent preparation if this is your first experience with art of problem solving. My third piece of advice to prepare for AoPS is to start completing old math contest test papers. Let me show you why. I pulled some of these homework problems from the AoPS Introduction to Algebra homework. Many of the homework problems are lifted directly from math contests. Here's math counts. This is a middle school contest. We have the AMC 12, which is taken by juniors and seniors in high school. This stands for the Harvard MIT Math Tournament. This is the American Regions Math League, and this is the AMY, which you only qualify for with an extremely high AMC score. A lot of your homework is going to be sourced from contests such as these. To solve these sorts of problems, it's really helpful if you've had some math contest experience. I have links in the video description of my other videos that describe these math contests in detail, but here they are in brief. For elementary, I recommend MOEMS, which stands for Math Olympiad for elementary and middle schools. In middle school, I recommend Math Counts and the AMC 8. And in high school, I recommend the AMC 10 or 12. You can find free or low-cost archived test papers, and in my other videos, I'll show you exactly where to find them. If your student doesn't want to participate officially, it's fine to just look at old test papers and study them at home without officially competing. Any exposure to these types of difficult problems will be very helpful in completing AoPS. So in summary, to ease the transition from another math curriculum to AoPS, take a look at the pretests linked in the AoPS bookstore, skip straight to the review and challenge problems for each chapter, and if you identify any gaps, go back and restudy those. Finally, study old math contest papers because you will see very similar problems in the textbook homework. Good luck with your transition to AoPS. If you have any questions about AoPS or math contests, please leave them in the comments.